Hello folks, and welcome to the scroll saw. This here is a scroll saw, and this is primarily designed to make curved cuts. Okay, so whereas the other saws that you've learned about so far generally make straight cuts either across the grain or with the grain, this one's going to cut any direction really, and it's for those times when you need to maybe cut up and then over, or cut a nice curved line however you want to. There's a lot of different reasons you'll use a scroll saw. The other tricky thing about this saw is you can place the blade into a hole and cut out the center of something, which makes this very useful and causes it to help us on a few of our projects. So before we go too far, I'm going to tell you about a few of the things that you need to know on this tool. This tool has maybe more adjustment than the other tools, but once it's set up, it's probably less tricky than the rest. So here we go. First, I'm going to tell you about the blade. I'm going to take it out. So this blade, unlike pretty much any of the other saws, you will actually hold and put into the saw yourself on multiple occasions. Sometimes you'll get there, it's set up. Great. Important thing to do is to set this up correctly. You will set it through this hole with the teeth facing down. We'll come back to that again later. And then you set it in this spot right here where this then tightens it against the locking block on the other side. Then, after you've got the top, you can bring it down and pinch the bottom side of the blade into place as well. Okay? Now you'll hear it's very dull sounding, and it's flexible. You can move it very easily. What you'll need to do is use the blade tension knob, which is here, and slowly crank it this way. You'll feel it hits little detents, which means it clicks into place a few times. Hear it getting a little more high pitch. I'm going to go to 3. Okay, that sounds like a good pitch. All right, that's what you need to do, and it feels nice and tense. That's what we want. Okay, so that's all tightened here and at the bottom. The blade tension knob is there. That's all in place. Now, the next thing is you're going to be putting this material through here. What happens is this blade goes up and down, unlike the bandsaw, which only goes down. Because of that, it's going to pull up on your material more. That is the purpose of what's called the hold down foot. The hold down foot keeps your material from bouncing up and down. Okay? So what you want to do to set that, because this is a little too loose, is on the back side, and I'll move this real quick. You'll see here, this one adjusts the tension on that, and it'll allow you to go up and down. You'll want to set it to where it just touches your material, and then tighten it down. Okay, now see that doesn't have much wiggle room. Tighten down the wing nut, and you're good. This is the hold down foot. It allows you to slide underneath it, but it will keep it from bouncing around too much. Okay? Next is this piece here. This is actually going to blow air once it turns on, and it's going to help blow away the sawdust so that you can see the line as you cut. So the blower, you put it in place. Don't put it into the blade. That's obviously going to ruin its effectiveness. It's very important you keep this away from the blade, and we blow the sawdust away. Okay? Let's see, I think you can see this one. This up here is your speed control knob. Okay? Speed control is lowest at 1, and it increases to all the way to 8. Okay? Generally speaking, with the scroll saw, a faster cut is better. It keeps it from bouncing as much. And so I would recommend somewhere around 6 as your setting. Then here you have your on-off switch. So this is where you turn the machine on and off. On in the front, off in the back. You'll see it's written on there as well. So that is all the parts to this, with the exception of one. This here is your table. Okay, you want to make sure that you always have your material flat on the table. Don't try and hold stuff up while you're cutting. If you want to put an angle on it, there's a way to adjust this table, and you can talk to Mr. Coop about how to do that. Let's just draw anything that I want to draw. Let's say I want to cut a shape like this. Okay, I've got this curved line happening here. Now, if I want to keep this part, it's good practice to just put an X on the part you want to cut off. Very important thing about the scroll saw is that you do not cut on the side that you want to keep, but instead cut more like 1/8 of an inch, 1/16 of an inch to the outside of your line, or the side you're going to get rid of. The reason for that is you can always sand more away, but you can't get material back. So if you ever cut and you go into it, that's gone forever, and you'll just have to make your piece smaller. Okay, class, as I cut, I want you to watch my hand position. Notice my hands are off to the side when there's not space on the right. Then I switch my hands when there's more space and my fingers will not be within 2 inches of the blade, or my fingers pressing towards the blade. You always want to keep your fingers 2 inches away from the blade, and you don't ever want your finger pointing towards the blade, because if it slips and goes through this hold down foot, you're going to be bumming. We don't want that to happen. The other thing, it was going fast motion, so you didn't maybe see my speed, but you don't need to force this. You can go slow. You might have seen me pause at times and back up so that I could make sure to not cut through my line. Totally okay. And then you sand away the little marks that you've made. Before you even start a cut, you want to make sure of a few things. You want to check where the blower is. You want to check the blade tension. You want to check that the teeth on the blade are down, and that the hold down foot is in a good location. The 4 things. Go over them again, different order. Hold down foot, tension of blade, teeth are down, blower's in the right spot. Those all will help you succeed and make your cuts go smooth. So now I'm done. I've made my cut. I noticed there are kind of all these scraps around. So if you see other people left scraps too, go ahead and clean up the area. These ones, these are all trash, okay? This was the piece I wanted. I'm going to keep that. This is big enough to go in the scrap bin. Make sure you clean up all your scraps and throw away anything that you don't need.